If you're eating protein to stay strong after 50, which you absolutely should be doing, I need you to stop for just a moment. Because 6 of the most popular protein sources in America right now are silently overloading your kidneys and triggering a dangerous chain reaction inside your heart at the exact same time. And the most alarming part? These aren't fast food proteins. These aren't junk food proteins. These are the ones you've been told are healthy. The ones sitting in your refrigerator right now. The ones your doctor may have even recommended. Today, we're going to change that. This video is specifically for people over 50, especially those of you dealing with rising blood pressure, unexplained fatigue, puffy ankles, or early signs of kidney strain. Here's the hard truth that most doctors don't have time to explain in a 10-minute appointment. After age 50, your kidneys filter at roughly half the efficiency they had in your 30s. That means the same protein portions that were perfectly fine for you at 35, they can now create a buildup of waste products called uremic toxins that put silent pressure on both your kidneys and your cardiovascular system simultaneously. A study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association found that over 37 million American adults have some form of chronic kidney disease, and 90% of them don't know it. That is not a small number. That's the population of California, largely walking around unaware, eating the wrong proteins every single day. But here's the good news, and this is the part I really want you to hear. Your kidneys are remarkably resilient organs. Given the right nutritional environment, they can reduce inflammation, improve their filtration rate, and even recover measurable function. And your heart, which works in a direct biological partnership with your kidneys, responds to those same changes. What that means for you, a few strategic protein swaps can protect your kidney function, lower your blood pressure naturally, boost your daily energy levels, and reduce your risk of heart disease, all at the same time. That's the promise of this channel. Small, daily habits that create compound results across your whole body. Today, I'm breaking down the 6 proteins silently destroying your kidneys and heart after 60, and the 4 protein sources that actively protect both organs at the same time. Stay with me until the very end, because I'm also going to share one small daily habit. It takes less than 3 minutes that works alongside the right proteins to dramatically improve your kidney filtration rate. Most people have never heard of this, and it costs nothing. Let's get into it. Before we get to the list, I want to give you 90 seconds of science, because when you understand why protein affects aging kidneys differently, everything else on this list makes complete sense. Your kidneys contain tiny filtering units called nephrons. At birth, you have about 1 million of them. By age 60, you've naturally lost 30 to 50% of that capacity, just from normal aging. Now, when you eat protein, your body breaks it down into amino acids, uses what it needs for muscle repair and function, and then the liver processes the leftover nitrogen into urea, a waste product your kidneys must filter out of your blood. Here's the science. A higher protein load, especially from animal sources, forces your kidneys to increase their filtration pressure. This is called glomerular hyperfiltration. In a young, healthy kidney, this is manageable. But in an aging kidney already working at reduced capacity, that constant pressure accelerates the loss of the nephrons you still have. But here's what makes this even more critical for your heart. Your kidneys produce a hormone called FGF23, fibroblast growth factor 23. When kidney strain increases, FGF23 levels spike. And elevated FGF23 is one of the strongest independent predictors of left ventricular hypertrophy, that's thickening of the heart muscle, and cardiovascular death. In other words, what damages your kidneys doesn't stay in your kidneys. It sends a chemical signal directly to your heart. That's the link. That's why we talk about both organs together on this channel every single time. Now, let's talk about what's on your plate. Avoid protein number 1, processed red meat. Now, before you click away, I'm not here to tell you to never eat steak again. This is specifically about processed red meat. Bacon, sausages, hot dogs, pepperoni, and packaged deli ham. Most people eating these think they're simply getting a convenient protein source. A couple strips of bacon at breakfast, a few slices of deli ham in a sandwich. It adds up to maybe 15 to 20 grams of protein. Seems harmless, right? Here's the betrayal. Processed red meats are loaded with sodium, often 400 to 900 milligrams per serving. They contain phosphate additives, which are absorbed at a rate of 90 to 100%, far higher than the naturally occurring phosphorus in whole foods. And they are high in saturated fat and heme iron, which promote advanced glycation end products, called AGEs, during cooking. Here's the science. A study published in the Clinical Journal of the American Society of Nephrology found that people who ate processed red meat just twice a week had a 32% higher risk of developing kidney disease over a 10-year period compared to those who ate it rarely. The phosphate additives are particularly damaging for aging kidneys. When phosphorus builds up in the blood, a condition called hyperphosphatemia, it causes calcification of the small blood vessels that feed your kidney's nephrons. And here's the direct heart connection. Those same phosphate deposits don't stop at the kidneys. They accumulate in the walls of your coronary arteries, the vessels supplying blood to your heart muscle. Research published in Circulation found that elevated phosphate levels from processed meats are directly linked to a 35% increased risk of cardiovascular events in people over 60. Bottom line, processed red meat isn't just hard on your kidneys, it's building calcified plaque in your arteries at the same time. Healthier alternative? Replace processed red meat with fresh, unprocessed cuts. A small portion of lean, grass-fed beef, 2 to 3 times per week maximum, with no added nitrates or phosphate preservatives. Avoid protein number 2, deli and cured meats. Turkey slices, salami, roast beef from the deli counter. These look like reasonable, lean protein choices. And for your kidneys in your 30s, they might have been fine. Here's the catch. What you don't see on the label is the sodium phosphate used as a preservative. A 2-ounce serving of deli turkey can contain up to 600 milligrams of sodium, and many seniors are eating 4 to 6 ounces in a single sandwich, putting them over half their daily sodium limit in one meal. Here's the science. Excess dietary sodium forces your kidneys to work harder to maintain fluid balance, a process called pressure natriuresis. Over time, chronic high sodium intake causes what researchers call sodium-induced nephropathy, where sustained high filtration pressure physically damages the delicate tubular structures inside your kidneys. A large study in hypertension found that high sodium diets accelerated kidney function decline 40% faster in adults over 55 compared to those on moderate sodium diets. And the heart link is even more direct here. Excess sodium causes water retention, raising blood volume, which raises blood pressure. High blood pressure is the #1 driver of both kidney disease and heart disease. These are the same mechanism, not 2 separate problems. Bottom line, deli meats hit your kidneys and your heart through the exact same pathway, sodium overload. Healthier alternative? Home-cooked chicken breast, sliced and stored. 0 sodium additives, full control over every ingredient. Avoid protein number 3, high-dose whey protein supplements. I know this one is going to surprise a lot of you. Whey protein is marketed everywhere as the gold standard for building muscle and staying strong as you age. And it's true. Whey protein has an excellent amino acid profile. This isn't about the protein itself. It's about the dose and form in which aging kidneys have to process it. Here's the betrayal. Most commercial whey protein scoops deliver 25 to 50 grams of protein in a single serving. That's a massive nitrogen load hitting your kidneys all at once, far more than a serving of chicken or fish would deliver. Here's the science. A meta-analysis of 7 clinical studies published in the Journal of Nutrition found that high-dose protein supplementation, above 1.6 grams per kilogram of body weight per day, significantly accelerated the decline of eGFR, estimated glomerular filtration rate, the key measure of kidney function, in adults over 50 with mild pre-existing kidney strain.
Additionally, many whey protein powders are high in phosphorus, some delivering 250 to 350 milligrams per scoop, compounding the same phosphate overload problem we saw with processed meat. And when you protect your kidneys from excessive nitrogen and phosphate loading, you are also suppressing FGF23 elevation, which directly protects against the left ventricular hypertrophy we talked about earlier. One intervention, 2 protected organs. Bottom line, whey protein isn't evil, but at high doses, aging kidneys simply cannot clear the waste load efficiently. Less is more. Healthier alternative? Drop to a maximum of 20 grams per serving. Consider a plant-based protein powder. Pea protein is naturally lower in phosphorus. Space protein intake across 3 to 4 meals rather than front-loading. Now, let's clear up a common myth. A lot of people hear limit protein for kidney health and immediately think, so I should go low protein, eat less protein overall. That is the wrong takeaway, and it can actually make things worse. Seniors who dramatically reduce protein intake risk losing muscle mass, a condition called sarcopenia, which itself increases cardiovascular risk, reduces metabolic function, and leads to falls and frailty. The goal here is not to eat less protein. The goal is to eat smarter protein, choosing sources that deliver the amino acids your muscles need while producing the least possible kidney and cardiovascular strain. That's exactly what the second half of this video is about. But first, 3 more proteins to avoid.
Avoid protein number 4, high-mercury fish, specifically canned tuna and swordfish consumed regularly. This one shocks most people. Fish is supposed to be heart healthy, right? And it is. But which fish matters enormously. Here's the catch. Canned tuna, particularly albacore, is one of the most mercury-contaminated fish in the American diet. Mercury is a heavy metal that is directly nephrotoxic, meaning it is toxic to kidney tissue. It accumulates in your kidney's tubular cells, impairing their ability to reabsorb and filter properly. Here's the science. Research published in Environmental Health Perspectives found that adults with higher mercury blood levels had measurably lower kidney filtration rates, independent of other risk factors. The association was strongest in adults over 55.
And the heart connection? Mercury is also directly cardiotoxic. It disrupts the electrical conduction system of the heart, increases oxidative stress in arterial walls, and has been linked to a significantly elevated risk of myocardial infarction in long-term studies. Bottom line, canned tuna once in a while is not going to destroy your kidneys, but eating it 3 to 5 times a week, which many health-conscious seniors do, creates a slow accumulation that neither your kidneys nor your heart can safely clear. Healthier alternative? Wild-caught sardines and wild Alaskan salmon. High omega-3 content, naturally low mercury, and beneficial for both kidney inflammation and cardiovascular health. We'll cover these in detail shortly. Avoid protein number 5, processed cheese. Specifically, cheese slices, spreadable cheese, and cheese sauces. Real, aged hard cheese in small amounts? Not the problem. Processed cheese products? Entirely different story. Here's the betrayal. Processed cheese uses artificial phosphate emulsifiers, sodium phosphate and sodium polyphosphate, to create that smooth, melty texture. These synthetic phosphates are absorbed at a rate of nearly 100%, compared to only 40 to 60% absorption from the natural phosphorus in whole dairy. Here's the science. A 2019 study in Kidney International found that patients with mild kidney impairment who consumed foods with phosphate additives had significantly faster progression of kidney disease compared to those who avoided them, even when total phosphorus intake was the same. And when phosphate builds up in the bloodstream, it calcifies not just kidney vessels, but the coronary arteries as well. The Framingham Heart Study identified elevated serum phosphate as an independent risk factor for cardiovascular mortality, even in people without diagnosed kidney disease. Bottom line, it's not just about how much phosphorus you eat, it's about what form it comes in. Healthier alternative? Small amounts of real aged hard cheese, Parmesan, sharp cheddar, without phosphate additives. Greek yogurt in moderation is also generally well tolerated. Avoid protein number 6, farm-raised shrimp, consumed as a regular staple. Shrimp is everywhere at gatherings. Shrimp cocktail, shrimp stir-fry. It's lean, it's low-calorie. It seems like the perfect protein. Here's what most people don't know. Farm-raised shrimp, which makes up about 80% of shrimp sold in the United States, is frequently treated with antibiotics, sodium-based preservatives, and is naturally high in phosphorus. A 3-ounce serving delivers approximately 200 milligrams of phosphorus, concentrated and highly absorbable. Here's the science. The high purine content in shrimp also raises uric acid levels, which is not just associated with gout, it's an independent risk factor for kidney disease. A study in Kidney International found that even mildly elevated uric acid levels doubled the risk of kidney disease progression in adults over 60. And when uric acid and phosphate both elevate simultaneously, they create systemic endothelial dysfunction, damage to the lining of blood vessels, which is one of the root mechanisms of both kidney disease and atherosclerosis. Same root, 2 branches. Bottom line, occasional shrimp isn't a crisis. Regular consumption of farm-raised shrimp as a dietary staple is a real concern for aging kidneys and arteries. Healthier alternative? Wild-caught shrimp in limited quantities, or substitute with wild salmon or sardines for your seafood protein fix. Before we get to the 4 proteins that actually heal your kidneys and protect your heart, if you're finding this valuable, take 2 seconds and hit subscribe. Every week on this channel, we release one science-backed daily habit specifically for people over 50 who want to protect their energy, their heart, and their kidney function for the long haul. It's free, and every video gives you one thing you can actually do today. All right, let's get into the good stuff. Healing protein number 1, egg whites. Of all the protein sources on this list, egg whites are the single closest thing to a perfect kidney-friendly protein for seniors. And here's why. Most people think of eggs as a complete package, yolk and white together. And for healthy adults, the whole egg is fine. But when kidney strain is a concern, the white changes everything. Here's the science. The white of an egg is almost entirely albumin protein, with virtually 0 phosphorus, 0 potassium, and 0 fat. The amino acid profile is complete, meaning it delivers all 9 essential amino acids your muscles need for repair and maintenance. And crucially for aging kidneys, egg whites produce less urea per gram of usable protein than almost any other animal protein source. Researchers studying kidney disease patients found that replacing red meat protein with egg white protein reduced kidney filtration pressure, measured as a reduction in proteinuria, within just 4 weeks. And the heart connection is equally compelling. Egg whites contain no cholesterol and are rich in peptides that inhibit ACE, the same mechanism used by a class of blood pressure medications called ACE inhibitors. Regular egg white consumption has been shown to measurably reduce systolic blood pressure in adults over 55. Same protein protecting your kidneys, same protein lowering your blood pressure. One food, 2 benefits. That's the healthy aging daily approach. Bottom line, 3 to 4 egg whites per day, scrambled, as an omelet, or blended into a smoothie, is one of the most protective protein habits you can build starting today. Healing protein number 2, wild-caught salmon. We already talked about why canned tuna and farm-raised shrimp are problematic. Wild-caught salmon is the direct upgrade, and the difference in what it does for your body is dramatic. Most people associate salmon with heart health, and they're right. But what they don't realize is that wild salmon's benefits for kidney health are equally impressive. Here's the science. Wild-caught salmon is rich in omega-3 fatty acids, specifically EPA and DHA. A large meta-analysis published in Kidney International found that omega-3 supplementation significantly reduced proteinuria, protein leakage in the urine, the primary marker of kidney damage, in adults with early kidney disease. Additionally, wild salmon is naturally lower in phosphorus than farmed salmon, lower in mercury than tuna, and contains astaxanthin, a powerful antioxidant that specifically reduces oxidative stress in kidney tubular cells. And the heart connection is the most well-documented finding in all of cardiology. 2 to 3 servings of fatty fish per week are associated with a 36% reduction in cardiovascular mortality, according to the American Heart Association. The omega-3s in wild salmon reduce triglycerides, lower inflammatory markers, including CRP, and help maintain the flexibility of arterial walls. When you eat wild-caught salmon, you're delivering anti-inflammatory protection to your kidney's filtration membranes and to your coronary arteries simultaneously. That's the dual organ payoff. Bottom line, 2 to 3 servings per week of wild-caught salmon or sardines is one of the highest leverage protein investments for your long-term health after 60. Healing protein number 3, quinoa. Quinoa is technically a seed, but nutritionally, it behaves as a complete plant protein, and that makes it genuinely unique in the plant kingdom. Most plant proteins are incomplete, missing one or more essential amino acids, which means your body can't fully utilize them for muscle protein synthesis. Quinoa is one of only a handful of plants that delivers all 9 essential amino acids. Here's the science. A study published in Plant Foods for Human Nutrition found that quinoa has a phosphorus bioavailability of only about 50%, meaning even though it contains phosphorus, your kidneys only have to process roughly half of it. Compare that to the 90 to 100% bioavailability of phosphate additives in processed meats. Quinoa is also naturally low in sodium, high in magnesium, which supports healthy blood pressure, and contains quercetin and camphorol, 2 anti-inflammatory compounds with documented protective effects on kidney tissue. And for your heart, magnesium is one of the most underrated cardiovascular minerals. Adequate magnesium intake is associated with a 22% reduced risk of coronary heart disease. Quinoa delivers 30% of your daily magnesium needs per serving. Same food, lower kidney phosphate load, stronger heart muscle. That's the healthy aging daily difference. Bottom line, 1 cup of cooked quinoa as a base for any meal, salads, stir-fries, breakfast bowls, is one of the easiest kidney and heart-friendly protein swaps you can make starting this week. Healing protein number 4, tofu and plant-based soy protein, specifically in whole food form. Before anyone heads to the comments, stay with me, because the science on soy is much more nuanced than the headlines suggest. And for kidney health specifically, the evidence is quite strong. Here's the science. Multiple clinical trials, including a landmark study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, found that substituting animal protein with soy protein significantly reduces glomerular filtration pressure in patients with early to moderate chronic kidney disease. The mechanism? Plant proteins generate less acid load and less nitrogen waste per gram compared to animal proteins. Firm tofu delivers approximately 10 grams of protein per half-cup serving, with low potassium, low phosphorus, and a good balance of essential amino acids. It's also rich in isoflavones, plant compounds that have demonstrated anti-inflammatory effects on kidney tissue in multiple human studies. And the heart connection? The FDA has approved a health claim for soy protein. 25 grams per day as part of a diet low in saturated fat can reduce the risk of coronary heart disease. The LDL lowering effect of soy isoflavones is one of the most replicated findings in nutritional cardiovascular research. Protecting kidneys by reducing acid load, protecting the heart by lowering LDL cholesterol. One food, two documented mechanisms. Bottom line, 2 to 3 servings of firm tofu per week in stir-fries, scrambles, or soups is one of the most powerful plant-based protein swaps you can make for both your kidneys and your heart after 60.
And now, the one daily habit I promised you at the beginning, the one that takes less than 3 minutes, costs nothing, and works directly alongside every protein change we've discussed today. Are you ready? It's water timing. I know, you've heard drink more water, but this isn't about drinking more. It's about when you drink it and how it interacts with protein metabolism. Here's the science. When you eat a protein-rich meal, your kidneys enter a state of increased filtration activity for the 2 to 4 hours after eating. During this window, adequate hydration directly supports the kidney's ability to clear urea and other nitrogenous waste products without straining the nephrons. Research published in the Clinical Journal of the American Society of Nephrology found that drinking 500 milliliters, about 2 cups, of water 20 to 30 minutes before each major protein-containing meal significantly reduced post-meal kidney filtration pressure compared to normal hydration patterns. Here's the critical detail most people miss. It must be before the meal, not during, not after. This pre-hydration primes your kidney tubules and reduces the spike in filtration demand that protein creates. And for your heart, this same practice reduces blood viscosity in the post-meal window, which is when a disproportionate number of cardiovascular events, including heart attacks, occur in older adults. 2 cups of water before each protein meal. That's the habit. Write it down. Start tomorrow. Let's bring this together. The 6 proteins to stop eating or dramatically reduce after 60. Processed red meat, phosphate additives, and arterial calcification. Deli and cured meats, sodium overload, same pathway to kidneys and heart. High-dose whey protein supplements, nitrogen overload, FGF23 elevation. High-mercury fish like canned tuna, nephrotoxic and cardiotoxic accumulation. Processed cheese, synthetic phosphate emulsifiers at 100% absorption. Farm-raised shrimp, uric acid buildup, sodium treatment, endothelial damage. The 4 proteins that heal and protect both your kidneys and your heart. Egg whites, complete protein, near 0 phosphorus, natural ACE inhibition. Wild-caught salmon, omega-3s, reduced protein urea, cardiovascular protection. Quinoa, complete plant protein, low phosphorus bioavailability, magnesium-rich. Tofu and soy protein, reduced acid load, LDL lowering, anti-inflammatory. And the daily habit that amplifies all of it. 500 milliliters of water 20 to 30 minutes before each protein meal. Your body is not giving up on you. Your kidneys are not giving up on you. Your heart is not giving up on you. But they need the right raw materials to do their job. And right now, the wrong proteins may be working against every effort you're making to stay strong and independent. Make one swap this week, just one. Replace processed meat at one meal with egg whites or wild salmon. That's all I'm asking. And if you found real value in this video, please subscribe and share it with someone you care about over 50. Because most people don't find out this information until it's too late, and you have the power to change that for someone in your life.
I'll see you in the next video. And remember, your health is not a destination. It's something you protect every single day.